What's going on, guys? So we all know about the growing phenomenon of women choosing to freeze their eggs so that they can have a baby when they choose to do it, not when some patriarchal tyrant decides that he's going to impregnate her, right? Well, can you believe they've actually come up with egg freezing parties? And I just wanted to say a massive, massive thank you to Daryl for sharing this article with me. Appreciate you, man. Drinks, snacks, and decisions. What really happens at an egg freezing party? Now, I just find it particularly interesting that this type of thing is being put out there as, oh, look, it's so exciting. We're going to freeze our fucking eggs because nobody wants to breed with us. Right? But what they don't think about is the fact that roughly about 1% of eggs are actually viable at the end of the day. Right? Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Just depends on the person, depends on the eggs. But the chances of success aren't very high. And most people who have IVF go on to dry up like some fruits in the sun. Like, you know, those dried dates and dried bananas and dried mangoes and dried apricots? How they're so dry that they're actually crunchy, like, you know what I mean? So that's basically what's going on in the IVF space right now. With the average age of first-time motherhood on the rise in many countries, thanks to these feminist cunts. Sorry, no, I don't mean that. I mean, they can't understand normal thinking. I apologize. Shouldn't say things like that. It's just very mean, and we don't like to hurt feelings, do we? With the average age of first-time motherhood on the rise in many countries, in the UK, it's currently 28.7 years old. Companies are dreaming up increasingly inventive ways to entice women into freezing their eggs to postpone motherhood and gain some control over their so-called biological clock. Just a little disclaimer for you ladies. There's no such thing as having control over your biological clock. You can have control over your eggs. Well, even that you don't have full control over. Did you hear about the fertility clinic whose power went out overseas and all the eggs basically became non-viable? And there were some people who weren't making eggs anymore, so they couldn't put more eggs in there. Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that little thing into the mix. Along with apps, pop-up shops, and Instagrammable mobile vans, stories of egg freezing parties are becoming very common. These are usually casual soirees during which attendees quaff champagne and nibble canapes as they learn about, you guessed it, egg freezing. This trend has spiraled in the US over the last few years, according to numerous reports. Geez, so is feminism. I wonder if there's a correlation with an increasing number of private fertility clinics seeking to promote the procedure, formerly known as oocyte cryopreservation among women. Now, one specialist who has been throwing egg freezing parties since 2014 predicts the trend will soon become commonplace across the UK. Now, here's the fun thing. You guys saw my video yesterday, the one I did on only the entire UK sperm bank, the entire sperm bank of the United Kingdom for the whole country has only 19 registered sperm donors. So if you get enough feminists freezing their eggs and getting lucky and having them fertilized from the sperm bank because no one else wants to have a baby with them when they're, 45 and have 3 master's degrees or maybe a couple of doctorates, right? So what you're going to have is a bunch of kids that are being born to the stock from the sperm bank. And if those kids meet each other and they have sex, there's a very high chance that they're going to be biological siblings. Think about that for a moment. As if their mothers weren't retarded enough, then you're inbreeding on top of that. All right, let's continue. Egg freezing inventive, my ass. An intensive procedure which involves injecting yourself with hormones for about 10 days before an operation to harvest the eggs is offered by the NHS to girls and women for medical reasons only, but is available privately for non-medical reasons. For instance, if a woman is still looking for a partner with whom to start a family. In the UK, a single cycle can cost up to £5,000, including extras like blood tests. Guys, how long do you think it's going to take for feminists to demand that the government pays for their IVF? It's not going to be very long. Mark my words. Mark my words. You'll go back to this video and be like, Sydney was fucking right when that happens. Because I am right. I'm always right about shit like this. Because I've seen it too many times. I've seen the patterns. I know how they work. By the way, thank you, my man Daniel Corica says, where are we going and why are we in a handbasket? Exactly right. Appreciate your $5 donation, brother. There are also annual storage fees for preserving the eggs and substantial charges to have the eggs reimplanted. Despite a growing awareness of egg freezing, the evidence to support its effectiveness is still sparse. The Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, or RCOG in short, recently warned that women should be better informed of its low success rate. Why do I always predict this shit before I get to it in an article? I don't even need to read this whole article. I already know where it's going. So I predicted shit and then it happened in the article. Like in a couple of recent articles. You guys have seen it. I'll like talk about a concept and then at the end it's like, well, there it is. I fucking beat them to the punch. The high cost and potential side effects before they make decisions. According to figures from the Human Fertilization and Embryo Authority, the live birth rate for women using their own eggs is around 18%. Well, I don't think it's that high, which is significantly lower than the success rate of IVF, 26%. But recent improvements in the success rate suggest that egg freezing is emerging as a viable clinical technique to preserve women's fertility, providing the eggs are frozen at a clinically optimal age, HFEA concluded. For many women, some control over their fertility is better than none for those who can afford it. And women in the UK could soon be able to mingle at an egg freezing party. Yeah, well, I don't think any dudes are going to be like gathering around for fucking jam and scones at a sperm freezing party. Like, we're not giving out our sperm. Are you serious? Like, do you really think we're that dumb? Fuck no, we're not. San Francisco-based fertility expert Dr. Amy Avazadeh, it's almost like Amy Vajayjay, who calls herself, wait for it, the Egg Whisperer, has thrown over 40 parties in the US and online via webinars. She says women and the UK, and as far afield as China, Japan, Italy, Germany, Australia, Denmark, and Spain. All the companies with growing amounts of childless women, surprise, surprise, have expressed interest in the concept. Currently, some UK fertility clinics, such as the London Egg Bank, throw small informal gatherings on offering time with its staff, with coffee and light snacks provided. But most offer just one-on-one consultants with doctors, so that these ladies can pick from this extensive catalogue of 19 incels. Infertility is a worldwide epidemic that will keep getting worse. With changes in society, people living longer and achieving life milestones later, climate change, our lifestyle changes, we will continue to see a decline in the birth rate and people waiting longer to conceive. Amy Vajayjay says, told Refinery 29 UK. With this comes more people needing treatment to start a family. This isn't just a US issue. It's a global issue. People anywhere want to know what they can do to improve their fertility and preserve it. Well, how about you don't eat junk food? How about you don't smoke? How about you don't take drugs? How about you don't create the toxin in your mind that is feminist ideology? How about you don't go to university for 12 years to get your doctorate in gender studies and then wonder where all the good men have gone? Those would all be great places to start to improve your fertility. By the way, thank you, Peppermint Cat's Ass, my man. Send his $5 donation. I appreciate you, man. He says, exercise your pimpan, man. That's right. Pimpan says, get away from my sperm, bitches. You ain't touching my shit. All right? Having established egg freezing parties, next on Vijay's agenda in the US are having, next on her agenda is egg thawing parties. So where they thaw the eggs out, where women discuss what to do when they're ready to use their eggs. Well, I don't know, because I got 5 cats already and I really like my cats. But then I just feel like a baby in the mix would be limiting my career options. So they don't really know what they're doing, but anyway. Home shopping parties are very popular here, as are Botox parties. Surprise, surprise. Pleasure parties. Surprise, surprise. Fucking Dancing Bear probably attends those ones. And parties to buy jewelry. Surprise, surprise, since no one else is buying it for them. When I attend, by the way, that's you guys I'm talking about. Thank you, MGTOW. When I attend events like this, people start asking me about fertility, which I love. Of course you love fertility, because you don't have it anymore. So I thought, let me do this for real. I started to gather like-minded people together in a relaxed environment to talk about what I like talking about most. Fertility, Vijay explains. She had also grown tired of women coming to my office. This is literally what she said. She had also grown tired of women coming to my office crying that they wish they knew more about fertility sooner. Yeah, because feminism doesn't tell them about fertility. Universities don't tell them about fertility because that might offend their feelings. That might make them upset. We can't have that now, can we? By the way, Gatsooks, I appreciate that $15 donation, brother. Says, so it looks like artificial wombs are on the cards and women are shit out of luck. Classic. 100% Gatsooks. Hope you got what I sent you, brother. Appreciate your patronage on Patreon. If you guys want to support me on Patreon or Subscribestar, patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW or subscribestar.com/SydneyMGTOW and paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW if you want to donate directly as a once-off. Now, ahead, 2 women tell us what went down at the egg freezing party they attended in the US. Oh, shit just got juicy. Here we go. Valerie Landis, 36, a marketing and sales director for a healthcare medical startup from Chicago, Illinois, decided to freeze her eggs twice after attending an egg freezing party. She underwent the process in 2015, age 33. Wait. Sounds like someone's knocking on a wall. Oh, that's Valerie. Sorry, my mistake. She underwent the process in 2015, age 33, and again in 2017 at 35. Landis founded the platform, oh, this would be funny to look at, eggsexperience.com to share her experience, and has also spoken about it on the Eggology Club fertility podcast. She is in the middle of creating a video series. This is egg freezing, about her fertility journey. By the way, guys, you can actually click on the links from the article that I've linked to you below. So you can check out eggsexperience.com and her video series. This is egg freezing. Should be good for a laugh. I arrived early, had a few drinks and bites to snack on, and really hit it off with a few girls my age. So you hit it off with a few girls aged 50? And it really hit off with a few girls my age. It was great meeting like-minded women my age who were considering or already doing the same thing I was. I built a network of women who I could relate to and rely on for friendship support. I already knew about egg freezing and was doing research into different clinics, labs, and doctors. I was also cost-driven, and I wanted to learn what clinics in other parts of the country could offer. I felt I was doing something progressive. Oh, there we go. Progressive. For my future self. It was a bucket list item to accomplish, just like going to university or college. Progressiveness. College, future, education, career. The typical feminist playbook. Saving for retirement or buying a house. It felt like I was planning my future family. Alone. The event started with a PowerPoint lecture and talk about what egg freezing was and what the procedures were that were involved. I stayed around after the talk in a Q&A session to network and chat with both the clinic's health team and other women at the event. It was a relaxed atmosphere where it felt safe to ask questions. I learned about the fertility timeline, female biological factors, and the potential benefits of egg freezing. What surprised me was learning how many variables there are when freezing. For example, the technical skill level of the technologist and embryologist can impact how successful the freezing will be. Your age may only partially predict the outcome because STIs and other things like blocked fallopian tubes can also prevent pregnancy. You don't know how many drugs you need until after you start taking the hormones and see how your blood levels vary from baseline results to secured good outcomes. We also learned how many eggs one needs to have for the egg math to result in good outcomes, i.e. the successful creation of an embryo and implantation to pregnancy. Valerie says, I want to challenge clinics to be more responsible for each freezer's outcomes rather than just collecting their cash, freezing their eggs and saying good luck. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, right? If you're coming in to see me at a fertility clinic at the age of 36, I'm probably going to wish you good luck because you're going to need it, Valerie. I noticed that most women at the party weren't talking to multiple clinics or many providers before deciding to freeze. They often just went with the first clinic they came across and didn't know the right questions to ask. Most egg freezing parties are hosted by physicians and clinic/lab groups who by nature can't be objective or a third party because they're the professional taking care of the patients. I found it fascinating how most people just accepted whatever the clinic or physician said without seeing different centers or challenging prices. I want to help shift that thinking and challenge clinics to be more responsible for each freezer's outcomes, rather than just collecting their cash, freezing their eggs, and saying good luck. I wanted to help promote to the new generation of freezers that the clinic needs to be responsible for their work, i.e. the clinic needs to give babies to post-wall thoughts that are all dried up. And care about the outcome of each person's freezing experience and success. In the end, I decided to freeze my eggs because I wasn't in the right relationship that was headed towards marriage and family. Yes, because you're an insufferable asshole because you bought into feminist bullshit and any potential partners you may have had saw right through you. Holy shit, Peppermint Cat's ass. That is amazing. So... Guys, for those of you who are on social media, whenever you post, I think we need to make an exit hashtag. That is hashtag EGGXIT, like Brexit or Blexit, but exit. EGGXIT. So guys, I want you to start sharing that. I'm looking forward to doing this. It's so good. So she wasn't in the right relationship that was headed towards marriage and family. All on her terms, of course. I was also traveling for work. Of course you were. And working long hours to build my company, which requires a lot of dedication. And that's true. It does require a lot of dedication. So I can respect that. At least from any human being that does want to, get their way to the top. But, actions have consequences, ladies. I love my work, but it does prevent me from having time to date often or successfully. I'm looking for a very specific person. Of course you are. You've just got this fucking checklist. Have any of you guys ever seen the movie, what's it called? The Ugly Truth with Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl? I actually watched that again last night. It's a textbook movie. We got Men 101 in the house here. Says wants to party with rotten eggs. 100%, man. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Underdog and Hammerhand as well. Those guys are content creators, so go and check those out if you're looking for sort of new and interesting content as well. Obviously, I don't want you guys to unsubscribe from me because I love bringing this stuff to you. But, I'm not the only dude out there, so I just wanted to pay my respects. And especially Men 101, he's got some great stuff as well. Thank you so much as well to, we had a donation before from Gatsooks again, brother. He says, my MGTOW mug arrived. Sydney, both awesome. Glad to hear that it arrived, man. That is actually one of the Patreon tiers that I have. You can actually get a mug from me if you're donating $15 a month or more. Mexi Man and Cheese says they freeze, but men aren't donating the seed anymore. Too many men have been put on child support from donating. Love your channel. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. And that's exactly right. 100% agree with you. I'm looking for a very specific person and a partner who complements and challenges me to be the best version of myself. That's hard to find. Yes, it is. It's very hard to find. I wanted to buy myself more time and increase my fertility stock. Of course you did. That's hard to find. I wanted to buy myself more time. Sorry, that was me repeating myself. I apologize. I'm thankful I froze both times, and I'm considering doing it a third time in 2019. For God's sakes. For even more fertility options and to increase my chance of starting a family someday. Yeah, buy some shares in cat food because, you know, that's what you're going to end up pouring your money into down the track. Amy, 29, a hospital technician from San Fran, went to an egg freezing party in 2015 when she was 26 and eventually decided to freeze her eggs. The party started off with appetizers and drinks. Dr. Amy then spoke about both female and male fertility and the different options available to individuals and couples to preserve their fertility. Her personality and humor made talking about this private issue not only informative, but also comforting. She also went over the different fertility procedures, IUI versus IVF, and their costs. My main takeaway was how common it is for women to have fears around having a family while pursuing a career. I also learned that freezing your eggs or doing IUI is not easy. You're damn right it's not easy. Both procedures require daily shots, blood tests, and multiple doctor visits. Anyone who goes ahead with it should keep their schedule light for about 2 weeks. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, I realized every woman is different. Their responses to the medications and the total number of eggs harvested varies not only with age but with each individual. I underwent the procedure twice. The first time I donated my eggs to a family, and the second time I froze my eggs for myself. During the first round of IVF, I only produced 6 normal oocytes, which was a pretty low count for a healthy 29-year-old. No, it's a pretty low count for a wall-smashed feminist who spent the last 10 years drinking, taking drugs, eating shitty food, and basically being a bitter person. I was devastated when I found out and started to panic about my future fertility. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But with some minor adjustments to my medications, I produced more oocytes in my second round. Whether or not I'll need to use these eggs, it's always nice to know I have it for my just-in-case moments. The egg freezing party made me curious and gave me a starting point, but I wanted to do more research before diving in. Dive in. Because it's a big decision, much like your big ass. I'm just speculating. I don't actually know that for a fact, so don't hold me to that. I always wanted to know how to freeze my eggs, but didn't know how to get started. Without the party, I'd still be thinking with no action. No, you wouldn't be doing a lot of thinking because that's not something that career-driven feminists that think men are the bad guys typically do a lot of, because otherwise you would realize that men aren't the bad guys. So, yeah, no, that's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, all of you, for joining in. This has been a really interesting article. I'm glad I didn't read this through before I shared it with you guys, because it was a lot of fun giving my live reactions on this. For those of you who do want to support me on Subscribestar and Patreon, patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW, subscribestar.com/SydneyMGTOW. Also got some crypto links below, paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW, all that stuff. You know where to find it. If you have any really solid, like, crazy good articles or things that you just stumble across while you're digging, send them to me at sydneymigtow@gmail.com. If it is a YouTube video, please tell me whereabouts in the video I should be looking and what it's a snippet of what it's about, just because I don't have a lot of time outside of making these videos and working, so where I can actually trim that time down, it's very, very helpful. Smash that thumbs up as well if you haven't already, because those thumbs ups, these comments, these shares that you guys do, share this video, by the way, if you know anyone who is thinks that egg freezing is a good idea and that it's just an easy way from avoiding accountability and avoiding not being an asshole to attract a partner, please do that. Hey, Jim Burke, egg freezing, it's not all it's cracked up to be. 100%, man, 100%. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you. Make sure you use that hashtag exit, EGGXIT. It's gonna really piss off some feminists when this shit starts trending, so let all your friends know about that as well. All right, guys, I'm out of here for now. I'm gonna go do my Patreon video, but until next time, I appreciate you all, and peace.